up on the Jockey Club facilities here in Lambourn, watching third lot come out. We have a bunch of 2-year-old colts. So this is Man Down Training Centre, owned by the Jockey Club and maintained for all the trainers who use it up here. So we have access to 9 gallops. Beautiful facilities here in Lambourn. So we have Fisher's Hill, which is a 4.5 furlong, very steep uphill gallop. We have Kingsdown gallop on the far side, which is 9 furlong uphill. Really lovely gallop. A lot of the National Hunt trainers use that as well as us. And then we have access to the straight mile grass and 7 furlong grass for the flat horses. And then for the National Hunt horses, they have the very famous bowl for all the National Hunt horses to use during the winter months and early spring. So facilities up in Lambourn are top class, and we're very lucky to be using them, and they're maintained very well by all the Jockey Club team here in Lambourn.
Happy with them, Ed?
Yeah. Good shape, I think.
Happy? Happy? No hesitation at all. Good boy. Alright? Okay, come on that little. Yeah. Alright?
Yeah, very good. They're very close to the...
Good man. That's because you got him there. Alright?
Yeah, after that, yeah.
Well done. Happy?
Yeah, good, yeah.
Alright, mate?
Yeah.
Alright to work tomorrow?
Yes, you're right.
Hello.
So at Linkslade we're very lucky enough to have an equine spa. We try and get as many horses in it as we can each day. Chad, aka Richard Phillips, monitors it and looks after the horses. So we have Swayze, who's a 3-year-old colt, in it this morning. We're hoping he'll run at Ascot on the Friday in the 5 furlong sprint for 3-year-olds only if he gets in. So we use the spa for recovery, as if an athlete would do for having an ice bath. We have the temperature down to 3.5 degrees, and they'll spend between 10 and 15 minutes in it. We try and get the horses in it once a day if we can. So we have lots of different horses. We get in horses which maybe have had a run before their run, or even just preparing. So Swayze, obviously, as he's running on Friday, we're just trying to make sure that he goes to the race in perfect order. So when Chad starts getting the horses used to it, we'll obviously have the water at much lower, and we build them up to where he is now. So this is just over the top of Swayze's knees. As you can see, 99% of them absolutely love it. You know, it's basically a spa day for the horse. They'll stand in here, get a wash off before and after to make sure they come in nice and clean, and then they'll get used to it. Do you find that most of them love it, Chad?
Yeah, absolutely. Once you put them in there once, twice, they take to it quite easily, and then when you're up to the level that they want, you know, this fella, look how relaxed he is when he puts them in there, he's very apprehensive. They absolutely loved it.
And it's something which we absolutely love. Chad will probably get about 10 horses in here each day. And it's a really, really big thing to have. So we're very lucky to have it, and it's definitely got a few horses into races and out, and then to recover afterwards is the most recovery. Very similar to football players getting in the ice baths, and I think Tom Marquand has an ice bath, so he'd be quite good in this. So on the first day of Royal Ascot, we have the one runner, Just Hubert, in the Ascot Stakes. So we're just getting ready with all the equipment we need to take racing with us today. So we'll take the silks, and we have the sponsorship, which is Velcroed on, which we change depending on who sponsors each horse. That'll be packed in the colours bag, which we dropped off at the weighing room when we get to the races. We'll have a set of racing girths and an overgirth, a non-slip pad, and a chamois. just to make sure that the saddle does not slip back during the racing. It sits nice and tightly. So we'll pack with us our racing bridle with a flash, breastplate. We'll have a cooler for before and after, a spare bridle, and spare girths, breastplates, and all the equipment we need just to make sure. We'll have some quarter markings, so hopefully he can win best turned out. As Hubert's been a little bit naughty in the past getting down to the start, we're going to run him today with a red hood. This will be applied and took off when he gets down to the starting stalls. So we're just hoping with the noise of the crowd and all the ceremony going on at Royal Ascot, this might just help a little bit just to relax so he doesn't get too upset on the way down. And so the rest of the tack room, we store all our silks, our sponsorship clothing, and all our racing bridles. So we're just hoping for a good run from Just Hubert today. He's more than capable of putting a big run in, and looking forward to the rest of the week. Just Hubert in the parade ring ahead of his race at Royal Ascot. Our evening feed's made up, ready to go out. We feed the Red Mills cubes. As you can see, every bucket has a horse's name in. We individually tailor each feed to each horse, depending on their weight, where they are in the system, how close they are to a race, if they're coming back in after time off or an injury. And then the only additional extras we add to the cubes is we feed an alfalfa A. We add that in, and then we use some electrolytes and salts, again depending on the workload. We find it very important to make sure that each bucket is well labelled with the horse's name to ensure that the right horse gets the right feed, as there can be quite a big difference between horses living next to each other. We find the cubes is a great way to get high daily intake without as much quantity, so we can feed per kilo less of the hard feed than what we would have to do if we used the mixed equivalent. It's a great feed, and all our horses do very well. They race very well and they recover very well, and that's very crucial when we're feeding the horses. We really try and listen to the riders' feedback as much as we can. They're on them every day. They know how they feel. They know if they're a little bit stiff or if they're feeling something. So we like to watch the horses trot before and after exercise, so we can see how they're moving. And then they have a nice walk home so they can cool down. Keep them nice and relaxed as much as we can. As we have all the different trotting tracks for the horses to go home, it gives the horses a time to relax and cool down before they get back to the yard, where we can get them a good wash off, and then they get put away then for the rest of the day. Get a good feed into them. So on an evening stables, all the lads will go around, skip out the stables, check the water's clean, put the fresh hay down, give the horses a brush over, check their feet, check their full shoes, make sure they're nice and clean and tidy for the evening, and then we'll put their light sheets on, as it's going to be very warm tonight. And then Chad, the head lad, will go around and make sure all the horses' legs are clean from exercise in the morning. He'll check all the legs, and he'll report then back to me and William in the office at the end. And then days like today where it's really hot, sometimes the horse will be brought out for a nice wash down to put back in the stable to make sure they go back into their stables nice and clean and refreshed for the morning. So like we said in the previous video, when it's this hot we just try and make sure we keep the horses cool as we can. Keeping a horse cool aids in recovery. Make sure their muscles don't get too hot. Allows them to really relax in the stable and eat. If we leave them too warm and they get too unsettled, they'll get hot and bothered and they'll go off their feed. So for us, it's very, very crucial we keep them as relaxed and cool as possible, especially in these really hot weather.
On the outside, Thunder Shack on the inner, Country Pile really serving it up now, and Thunder Squall's got a real fight in his hands here because Country Pile has taken over inside the final furlong and a half, and she's drawing 2 lengths clear from Thunder Squall, who's trying to battle back, but Country Pile is in full control here and is going to get off the mark at the 7th time of asking. Country Pile goes on the win, Lewis Edmund.
So we're here at Linkslade Park Racecourse. We have one runner. This is the stable lads' canteen, where they can come and get their lunch. They have a really good spread. They have 2 different types of curries, a vegetarian and a chicken, as well as koftas, the wraps, all the stuff to go along. They've done a great job here. They have full sandwiches and soft drinks and everything else, and crisps, with a coffee station and cup of tea. As much water as you can, so the lads come in and they can get their lunch, and done a fantastic job, and it's a really nice spread. So the lads, exactly, yeah.